Hello and welcome to day 2 of my October horror movie marathon. And today I watched Knights of Badassdom from 2013. This was on Netflix. I was just looking through the movies and this one caught my eye. I've heard things about it. So Knights of Badassdom, it's directed by Joe Lynch and written by Kevin Dreyfuss and Matt Wall. I don't know anything about any of these people. And it stars Ryan Quanten. I'm not sure how you say his name. I'm not really familiar with him. Margarita LaViva, again, don't know how to say her name, and I'm not really familiar with her work. But then we get to the awesome part of the cast. These are all people that I love. Steve Zahn, Peter Dinklage, Summer Glau, Jimmy Simpson. I love Jimmy Simpson. Danny Pudi of Community fame. Brian Posehn. Absolutely hilarious guy. So just a fantastic cast in this movie. I've always liked Steve Zahn. Peter Dinklage is always amazing. Summer Glau, of course, best known for Firefly, Serenity. I would assume that's what she's best known for. She's done other stuff. She was a Terminator. And like I said, I love Jimmy Simpson. He's in all sorts of great stuff. Maybe best known for being in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I don't know. But anyway, so that's the cast. What's the movie about? Well, it's sort of a geek's dream movie. Up to a point. Basically, you've got a group of LARPers. The whole movie is about LARPing, live action role playing. And it's a scenario we've kind of seen before. Steve Zahn is a magic user, and he happens to get a hold of a real book of spells and accidentally summons a demon in the form of the Ryan Quanten's character's girlfriend. His name's Joe, and his ex-girlfriend's name is Beth. But due to circumstances, that's the form. Beth is the form that this demon takes, up to a point. So this falls into my horror marathon because it's got magic and demons and lots of bloodshed. For this type of movie, it's probably not even as graphic as, say, Shaun of the Dead, but it's relatively graphic. I think they'd have to censor some of it if it was on network television. So that's the basic premise. These LARPers and accidentally summon a demon. Of course, it's in the middle of what's going to be a huge LARPing event, so there's plenty of fodder for the demon to kill, and our heroes have to become real heroes in order to defeat the monster. So apparently there was a lot of trouble with this movie. On IMDb, in the trivia, it says that the director disowned the movie because of delays and editing by the production company. And I had heard that this is not the director's vision of the movie, that there have been cuts made. And I think it shows a little bit. There are some places where it seems a little choppy. So I'd love to see a director's cut of this. Again, I might be a little biased when it comes to my rating because, again, I absolutely love this cast. So many fan favorites of mine. There are some pretty funny moments. There are a lot of geek shout-outs. Of course, I mean, LARPing right off the bat, and then there's talk of Dungeons and Dragons. There's doom metal, which fits into the whole, heavy metal and demonic stuff and D&D and all that. There's a character who uses the name King Diamond. of course, famous singer. Well, within the realm of metal and death metal and weird metal and whatever. I'm not exactly sure how you'd categorize King Diamond. There are locations in this sort of made-up world for the LARPing that are based on, I think one's a Led Zeppelin song. There's a name that comes from Rush. There was another one, I can't remember. I believe there was another one. So all these sort of inside references, which of course I always like. I think everybody does a fine job as far as the acting goes. Jimmy Simpson is his Jimmy Simpsonist. Again, I'm a huge fan. I don't know why. I just love that guy. And Peter Dinklage, as I said, is always fantastic, and I love his character in this. He's into the LARPing and doing drugs. He does some shrooms before they start their adventure, which makes things interesting. So it's a fun movie. As I said, it seems a little choppy at points. The special effects aren't the greatest. There's a couple of CGI effects that that CGI look to them, which, depending on how you come at this movie, could add to that sort of independent, low-budget fun. Or you could just look at it and go, wow, that looks like obvious CGI-ness. I didn't think it was horrible as far as that goes. The demon monster thing was interesting. And I do like that they pretty much went with a man in a rubber suit as opposed to making it all CGI. I could really get into my feelings on CGI in horror movies. But that's for another time. I'm talking about Knights of Badassdom. Overall, I enjoyed it. It's not one I'm going to rush out and buy. It's been out for a couple of years and I didn't buy it, but now that I've seen it, still not. Just excuse me, sorry, I'm very tired. If there were a director's cut, I'd be very tempted to pick that up. But this, maybe if it were in the $5 bin, I would pick it up. So I think I'm going to give it 6.5 out of 10. Because it wasn't horrible. The cast is great. There are just some issues with it that may again fall on that whole editing by the production company and everything. I suppose, I don't know what the director, what his actual vision was. It's not a horrible movie. I'm not sure why he would have disowned it unless he really had some issues with what the studio did. But there you go. Knights of Badassdom, 6.5 out of 10. It wasn't a waste of time. Absolutely not. So what I'm going to do is, if I can find it, I'm going to put a link to the trailer up in one of these corners so you can check it out and decide for yourself if you want to see it. And for anyone who watched my first video, I'm going to go back and add a link for the trailer, although you can always just look it up yourself. But I'm going to try and do that if I can. I'm going to put links for trailers so you can at least get a glimpse of what I'm talking about. So that's it for day 2 of the October Horror Movie Marathon Fest, or whatever I'm going to call it, and Knights of Badassdom. Hey, if you got the time, check it out. If not, you can pass on it, I suppose. I enjoyed it. All right, that's it. So I'll see you next time.